Alright, so we're back with part 2 here on how to change the spare tire in your vehicle. So what we're going to do first step is get our tire iron and head over to our vehicle that has the damaged wheel. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick this end onto the nut here. Now that it's clicked on, all we're going to do is we're going to raise it up until we hear the nut click and it gets loose. There we go. Alright, so now that we've cracked our lug nuts, we're going to want to get our scissor jack here, and we're going to want to jack the vehicle up. Now, every car is going to be different as to where you jack it up, so I suggest you consult your owner's manual, and it'll show exactly where you need to jack it up for. Now, for most cars, if we want to just come under here, there's something called the pinch weld. Now, the pinch weld is a seam that runs along the car, and this is where you're going to jack your car from. Now, on most cars, you're going to have a little notch that's cut in on either side. Here, it's a bit rusty out. But this is where you're going to put your jack so you can safely lift the vehicle. Alright, so now that we've identified where we're going to jack the car from, we're going to grab our scissor jack and see the little notch that's cut in right here. This is where that pinch weld's going to sit on the car so we can safely jack it up. Now, do as follows. We're going to get our jack and we're going to slide it just roughly under there. And we're going to get our little extension piece here. Some cars, it may actually be separate, but for this unit, it's actually built in. But all you'll want to do is basically just go ahead and just slide it through the hole there, and it'll do the same purpose. Now, all we're going to do is simply just twist it. Alright, so now we've just set the initial height of the jack there, as we can see here. It's lined right on the pinch weld. Now, all we're going to want to do is just keep raising the jack here, just until the tire is fully released from the ground. So I'd say about a couple inches, maybe 6 inches or so. And that'll allow us to take the rest of the nuts off, and then we can just pop the wheel off and pop the new wheel back on. Alright, now that we got the vehicle jacked up just a few inches right here, we can just take our tire iron and back the rest of the nuts off. Now you can see why we initially cracked them. If the car was up in the air, we tried to crack them, the wheel would attempt to spin against the brakes, and there's just no point. It'd be too hard to get it off. Alright, so now that we've got all 4 lug nuts off, we can go ahead and just take the wheel off. Wow. There we go. We'll just set this aside. Now, if your wheel is stuck on there, you can go ahead and just kick it against the sidewall, which is basically just the outer rim right here. This will just free any rust and corrosion that's happened on the inside right here. Now that the original tire's off, we're going to grab our spare tire here, and we're going to match the 4 holes here with the 4 studs that are right here. So simply. Now that it's on, we'll stick all 4 lug nuts back on. Alright, so now that we got the lug nuts on there, all I did was just snug them up, just loose enough. Because what we're going to do is, once the car's down, we'll be able to tighten them down even more to the correct torque specs. So we're going to head back to the scissor jack here, and instead of going clockwise to lift the car, we're going to go counterclockwise to lower the car. Alright, so now that the car is back on the ground there, we can finally tighten the lug nuts back up. Now, just a side note there, with the spare tire, you don't want to ride on it too long. And as well, the speed rating for it's only about 60 to 80 kilometers an hour, so you're going to want to avoid highways at all costs there, and just get it to your nearest tire shop so you can get the new tire put on. Now, the way you're going to want to tighten your lug nuts there is in a star pattern. So what I mean by that is, we'll start at this one, and we'll tighten it down. And you want to go just till the breaker bar here, or the tool just barely bounces back on you. And then we're going to go across like a star and tighten this one, and then we'll go here and then here. Alright, now that we've tightened it all up, we're all done, and you successfully changed your main tire to your spare tire. Now just throw this tire into the back of your car and head on down to your nearest shop.